From the smallest shieldbug to the grandest oak tree, the Wildlife Trust for Birmingham and the Black Country has been protecting wildlife here for 40 years. Wildlife includes all species that live wild in an area: birds, mammals, invertebrates, plants, trees and fungi. The Trust has 4 goals to protect wildlife now and for the future. Space for nature is protected, restored, created and valued. This is Portway Hill, part of the Rowley Hills and one of the Trust's newest nature reserves. People come from all over the world to view the geology here. It's also important for its wildflower-rich grasslands, which supports one of the few colonies of the beautiful marbled white butterflies in the Midlands. When they swarm, they look like white clouds, which looks really impressive. Wildflower-rich grasslands are teeming with wildlife. To keep this fragile habitat in good condition, the long meadow grass and wildflowers are cut once a year when the seed has dropped, and the hay is then raked off. At Parkdale in Wolverhampton, close to the city centre, our conservation team and volunteers cut the grass, then rake it off the conservation area to help encourage the wildflowers.
So we found a smooth note in the grass where we've just been cutting, and we're just going to put it down by this pond in the shade so it doesn't get disturbed again.
This improved habitat is important for pollinators, butterflies, small mammals and a wide range of bird species, as well as the special plants that call this habitat their home. The Trust manages 9 nature reserves and works with landowners, including local authorities and schools, to improve their sites for nature. We work across the whole landscape, creating homes for wildlife and connecting natural spaces through green corridors so wildlife can travel between them. Everyone is connected to nature. Nature is good for us. Daily contact with nature reduces stress, improves mental health, gets us physically active and improves concentration.
No one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they've never experienced.
I care.
We are all happier when we have a strong connection to nature. Nature is at the heart of planning, policy and decision making.
I think you knew about Moseley Bog before I did.
Well, there was a wonderful meeting, I remember, in the upstairs room of the Co-op, and Joy Pfeiffer spoke. She, in 2 or 3 minutes, just had such an emotional impact on people. She was in bits about the fact that this wild bit of inner city Birmingham was threatened with a housing scheme. And that kind of gave us a real focus, actually, to say, yeah, we need to be a campaigning organisation. We need to get through to the planning officers. We need to get through to the people on the planning committee. And then we won. I mean, that was the miracle.
Yeah, that's right. And it's still a nature reserve today.
Yeah. We're an urban society, 90% of us live in towns and cities or in big villages. So the idea that nature on the doorstep,
Look over there,
is something that happens out in the rural countryside is crazy. It has to happen on the doorstep, in the garden, in the school grounds. And if you can have access daily to the sound of the birds singing, if you can see that it's different in the autumn from the spring, then you're going to be enjoying it, but you're also much more likely to be concerned about the loss of the wider countryside. So it begins in towns and cities, and we were part of that revolution that really kick-started that whole movement.
We are an effective organisation.
We have 7,500 members. 200,000 people have visited our nature reserves in this last year, and we are lucky to have 1,900 amazing volunteers. Thank you all.
Wildlife in urban areas is a daily reminder, really, of how important the natural world is to human welfare, and also how important it is that humans look after wildlife's welfare, because it's mutually beneficial.
We have had an incredible 40 years, and our vision for the next 40 years is for Birmingham and the Black Country to have more wildlife, more wild places, and more people connected to nature. Like the ancient Greek proverb, a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they will never sit in, we have a plan for nature so that Birmingham and the Black Country's children and future generations will grow up surrounded by wildlife. Doesn't that sound fantastic? We hope you'll join us so that we can achieve this together.